Hey, hi, cool. Hey, so it's the internet's favorite and best artist who has finally returned from his slumber to give you all of this bit going. Hi, how's it going? Let me get this a little bit closer to me. So, if you're watching this, and I hope you are, you may be wondering, well, where is Sean's beautiful face? This doesn't look like Sean. Well, currently, I have this pretty horrific zit on my head that is nightmare inducing and is growing at an exponential rate, and I don't want it to be on camera, so forgive me this little bit of vanity. I'm just going to keep it hidden, and we're going to do a faceless, or technically VTuber. I don't know. Here's my little stuffed Cthulhu doll that I have in the back that you can use as your human avatar and look into his big, adorable little face and going like, hey, how's it going here? Oh, it's so good to see y'all. Hello. The second question is, well, when did Sean stream this? Well, here's the answer to that. Sean didn't. So, if you have been following my life updates for a little bit, I have had, in my house, no power for like weeks. Finally, power comes back on. I've been having anxiety about online stuff lately, but I decided screw it. It's a good motivator in my life. Why not keep doing it? Anywho, we had a storm today, and the power is still on, but here's a fun story. Here's a fun story for all you people. The internet is off, so I can't go online, and I am very bored, and I can't sleep. I could sleep theoretically, but I'm very bored, and I don't know what to do. So I had this idea that I'm just going to record myself here, and I will upload it later when the internet does come back on, or yeah, I guess that's my only option really, is just to upload it later. But that's cool. You'll get to see this in a couple of days, or hopefully tomorrow when it's done. I don't get that instant satisfaction of the online lifestyle. But what are we doing today? Well, I am persisting in my desire to practice art, and I was like, oh, this is going to be uploaded online. What sort of thing should you do? Because you should try and at least do something that maybe people would actually want to watch. So, a show I'm obsessed with right now, and I think the entire internet is obsessed with, is currently Smiling Friends. And I thought I would draw the characters from Smiling Friends. And for anybody who has just wandered into this thing and has never heard of what am I talking about? Anybody who's just wandered into the thing is here because of Smiling Friends. Anybody who's wandered into this thing has never heard of me will know that I am not the greatest artist in the world. But I do this because it's fun to do. I really do. So let's get started. I'll try and draw the characters, and won't be super successful, but it'll be fun to see me struggle, and I think that's important. I made a video about this a while ago, about Smiling Friends. When I first watched it, I was in the wrong mood to watch Smiling Friends, because I wasn't, my stomach was a little upset, and also just the whole starting thing with Desmond and holding a gun to his head was, that was a dark reflection of sometimes where my head can go. But I rewatched it. I watched it randomly. You know what it was? This was back when I was on TikTok. I thought the video game guy, the Corn, why am I slipping on his name, was funny. And so I was like, you know what, this seems funny. So I gave it a chance and I ended up really liking it. I don't know, it's a good show. Zach, I believe me and Zach are the same age. He's infinitely more successful than me. I so wanted to learn how to draw when I was a kid. But, okay, here's the thing. I sometimes think when you try and learn skills, that's really hard for people when they're trying to learn stuff. And especially when I was a kid, when I wanted to learn how to draw. I wasn't immediately good at it. And kids very famously give up when they're not immediately good at something. But I don't see anybody ever talk about the fact that you get weirdly judged by other people for not being immediately good at something. You know what I mean? I wasn't immediately good at art, and people just like, when I showed stuff I was doing, people like sighed, and that's kind of demoralizing, because I was like, oh. And so I kind of, I guess I kind of felt bad for trying to learn how to do it, so I never would never pursue it for very long. And it wasn't like my parents or anything. It was like kids at school and stuff. And I don't know. I kind of felt like I was discouraged from trying to learn how, even though I wanted to. And I feel like that's true with every skill. So I look at somebody like Zach, who, if I wanted to learn how to animate, and we're about the same age, and I probably, if I had maybe tried to pursue animation, I probably would have started doing what he was doing. Can't do that. Only at night where you sit and you think you're bitter. No, it's fine. I worked on a crappy radio show. No, don't say crappy. I worked on a not super popular audio series that nobody listened to, and I am paying somebody right now to record for me because I'm pretty sure they're going to take it off the platform soon. And I probably need to pay them a little bit more money than I offered. And it's taken a while. So it's like, it's fun. Anyways, Smiling Friends. I like it because it's really fascinating in the last few years to watch is how realistic diction has hit animation. It's interesting to see animation go through this idea where lately a lot of animated shows I've watched, especially the newer, younger generation, aka people my age, have been all about trying to bring realistic diction and more casual acting to animation as opposed to like. And it's very fascinating. One of my favorite film directors is Robert Altman. And if you've never seen a Robert Altman movie, you should. They're very good. He does have a style, though, that takes a little bit getting used to. And it sometimes throws people off when they first watch his movies. They're very dialogue-driven, which is not unusual. But he likes overlapping dialogue to make it feel more realistic and layered. So a lot of characters will talk over each other, interrupt each other. And what I find so fascinating is that it's very much like animation is pursuing that idea as a concept. And I've noticed it in Smiling Friends, obviously, because they love that, where it's like the absurd thing, characters will sit down and have realistic chat. It's all over the place, really. I'd like to give the credit, I think, at least for American shows, to Brandon Small and Lauren Bacard for home movies, I think. Or probably, even better, Dr. Katz. God, I'm just repeating points I made in videos I've made, but who cares? That's where, I think those two shows really are where you first start noticing this sort of thing, right? At least I first started noticing that they were trying to achieve something like this. Home movies, especially, has just great dialogue. That show. I watched that show a little bit when I was a kid. It was never on enough for me to get super into it, but lately I've been rewatching it, and holy heck does that show hold up. Oh my god. And you can see there's this great influence that it has on Smiling Friends. I don't know if they've ever directly acknowledged that. I think Zach has said at one point that he was a fan of home movies. But there's a pretty clear through line between the way they handle dialogue in home movies to the way Smiling Friends handles dialogue in home movies. And it's been fascinating to watch. Although, like, this is a fairly common theme, I guess, in art, just in general, that they're constantly trying to pursue more realism. Do you think we've nailed it yet? Because it's realistic. Me sitting on a chair for a couple hours watching Smiling Friends and eventually falling asleep to it. And when I heard one of the most depressing things is when a thing you love starts acting shitty. The fact that Adult Swim, I have trouble emphasizing how much I love Adult Swim. It's my favorite, next to HBO, it's maybe my favorite TV channel of all time. And at times, is my favorite. And the fact that they've been behaving kind of scummy to their original creators, some of the original guys, like the guy who created The Brack Show, and I'm not thrilled with that. I don't know how to deal with that, really, guys. I really don't. Oh, man. It looks better from my eyes. If I could just install. Think of this. Perfect solution for streamers. We install cameras in the eyes of streamers. Art streamers specifically, or YouTubers, I guess. I don't know what this video is. It's just general. I picked it because I thought I could general stuff thought processor peoples. We could just install cameras in the eyes. I'm sure nothing would go wrong from allowing tech companies to have access to our innermost thoughts. Isn't that creepy? That seems to be a goal at some point. We respect privacy here at Big Tech Corporation. We love privacy, but we would very much like access to your most inner thoughts. Can we have that? I think I'm joking, but why is Elon Musk killing all those monkeys? For their beautiful tech juice. God, how lame. Like a beautiful fantasy like Batman or something is, where it's just like, because in real life, just so, it bums me out how much of a dork, or I think the president of the electric car company would be kind of cool, but no, he sucks. And people listen to him. He's like, oh, he's genius. And it's like, he's kind of annoying. I don't want to be one of those people who's life revolves around Elon Musk. But ruined Twitter. Twitter was perfect. I do find that a funny take where it's like, yeah, he's the one who destroyed Twitter. No, Twitter sucked before him. He just took all the terrible things and made them more terrible. Listen, Twitter was always a dumpster, garbage fire. Oh my god, I suck so much. You put your head down in shame. I'm not used to drawing very cartoony people. I used to draw more cartoony. I in a pursuit of trying to learn more realism, I think I've lost a little bit of the style I used to have. Okay, we'll do gestures. Let's maybe do Pim. Pim's a little bit easier to draw first, and then because he's just a few circles. Oh god, now I'm talking like I can circles. Damn it. So anyways, okay, favorite episodes, because I'm gonna title this something like me talking about smiling friends and trying to draw them. Please hire me, Zach. And no, you have actual animators working for you. But hire me. Anyways, let me get you coffee. Listen, every funny person needs hype who is not as funny as them, but can successfully go yeah, what do you think Matt Stone's job is on South Park, huh? That's interviews Matt Stone writes, although Trey function as the head writer. So, but what was I saying? But favorite episodes. Let's see. Mr. Frog is really funny. I like that episode a lot. In a video I made on it once, I said Mr. Frog is what kind of sold me on the show, because that's just such a bizarre episode. I like the video game one, Wembley. I like the Brazil one. I think that's actually a really good episode. I always appreciate shows who are like, we're going to do this big thing. Nah, we're just screwing with you. One where Charlie Goes to Hell, that's a really good one. They're all really good, but those are some of my favorites. I like the Alan-focused episode. I find Alan to be quite a funny character. Oh, the shrimp. Oh, man. I'm just saying all the episodes. I don't know. People in the comments who watched past the... How long have it been? 21 minutes. Oh, that's not bad. You say your favorite episodes. Oh, the another really good one is the forest one, where they go to the magic forest. What a off-keel reference that was to the... it's not the Rankin Bass. It's the Rankin Bass adaptation of Lord of the Rings, which is, if you're unaware of this, I think everybody's aware that there was other adaptations of Lord of the Rings. It's before Peter Jackson did them. But Rankin Bass, who you know from the... why am I blanking? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, once did an adaptation of... I believe... Did they do The Hobbit? I think they did The Hobbit. I forget what it was. It's a weird thing where they only adapted The Hobbit and then Return of the King. Didn't do any of the other books. It was The Hobbit and Return of the King. I've actually never seen them. That might be something fun to talk about. Anyways, I just thought that's such a funny reference to me. I don't know. Mind! I've been watching... Weird Al produced a new polka thing, and I've been... It's got me down on a little bit of a Weird Al thing. Apparently, one of the fun things about that was that the guy who did those fan animations for Albuquerque and Everything You Did Wrong, I didn't know those were fan animations. I had no idea those were fan animations until people mentioned that in the comments. It's like, oh, I guess that is just a fan animation. He got to do an official animation for Weird Al, which is cool. Apparently, he's also animating on Smiling Friends, which is fun. It all relates. So that sent me down a whole rabbit hole, and I've been listening to a lot of Weird Al this week. Underrated Weird Al song, or not so underrated. Very serious music critics consider. I remember the Jackson Park Express, which is his Cat Stevens pastiche. I've been listening to that. I was like, that is a pretty legitimately great song. I know some people don't like Cat Stevens, which is but he has some good songs, I think. And that was such a great rework. You can tell sometimes parody songs. You can tell, I think, when Al is a legitimate fan of them, as opposed to just doing them because they're popular. Everything You Do Is Wrong is a pastiche of There Will Be Giants, and you can tell Al likes There Will Be Giants, so that happens to be one of his better songs. And I don't know, hating thing parodies. I don't think you necessarily need to love something to successfully parody it. But also, no true person will know the true weaknesses of the work. No person will know all the stuff that can be parodied like a fan. Actually, things are words. I was thinking, I need to make some changes in my life. If I had done what I wanted, if I had pursued art more seriously, if I pursued writing more seriously, if I hadn't got stuck just going through the motions of life for so long, I don't know, where would I be? I think a lot about artists and writing and general life stuff, and it's like, I have confidence in myself that I can do art, but I am confident in myself. I've never not been that I have the ability one day to tell a great story, create a great piece of work. Words. I'm trying to talk myself up a little bit, and I'm losing the confidence. I have confidence that I believe in myself. Darn it, I believe that I can do things. Is what I'm trying to say. But I don't do things. I just sit around waiting for the great thing to happen to me. And that only happened, and I only got a job once because of doing. No, I got a job. I got that job because I put myself out there and somebody responded. That's why. For people just coming in and saying, well, why shut up about your personal stuff? I should just focus on the Smiling Friends. I agree with you. I'm not that familiar with the One He Plays thing. I was aware of back as an animator. I never followed him too much, but I was aware of his stuff. But he's also a pretty good impressionist. I saw him... No, I'm about to talk. Nope, not going to do that. He's a pretty decent impressionist, I think. Would make a good guest on Comedy Bang Bang if Scott would ever have him on. I think he would be a pretty great guest for that. I don't know. It's weird with Comedy Bang Bang because I consider that such a foundational text of the comedy scene of today. And it's partly because it's pretty, not even that obscure, but it's it's hard to, I don't know. It's a parody talk show, chat show, where one of the guests is real and the others are comedians playing characters. That's the basic premise of it. And a lot of comedians who are notable now got their first notice, at least for me, by doing characters on that show. Zach would fit in quite well. Their trivia. I ended up watching. It's weird because I'm now going through some Australian animation because of that, and because of Smiling Friends, I ended up watching Michael, who's the co-creator, as other show that he did, the show that he did for Adult Swim, YOLO. First season was called, I think, Crystal Fantasy, and then the second season is called Silver Dynasty. I hadn't really heard of this show before. Man, holy heck, is that show weird? That's beautiful. It's good weird. It's fun weird. It's about these two girls in Australia who party, and it's fun. It's fun, interesting when you watch. The reference I'm working off, he doesn't have a full belt, but I'm gonna break convention and I'm gonna give him a full belt just because I drew him a little bit more at an angle. I don't think it turned out all that bad, honestly. Looks like I get him a little bit rounder of a head. I was thinking, real obscure old show. It's WB attempted to rip off SpongeBob at one point. Coconut Fred, and they had Rob Paulson do it. Which, if you were to rip off SpongeBob, that Rob Paulson would be a good guy to pick. It looks a little bit like Coconut Fred. I don't even know if that's true, but said. He looks a little bit like a pineapple, or the way I'm drawing him. Does that make sense? Or is that just something that... How long have I been talking for? Half an hour. Wow, that took me half an hour. Jeez Louise. I was going to play some music under this, but again, I don't have any internet, so I can't go on to lo-fi. Just play that. It's not bad. Not bad. I don't think that's bad. Let's try and do Charlie again. So Charlie, it's just generally this big, almost like an S. I was going to draw the whole gang, but this notepad is kind of small, and I don't know if I'll have room. But we'll at least get the two most important characters, which are... So, I have a lot... I've been thinking about Charlie and Pym. I've been thinking about what they do. Charlie, Pym, Alan, and Gleb, and the boss. And I think I figured out their jobs, and this is just my guess. Clearly, Charlie and Pym are like field agents for Smiling Friends. They're the ones who go out into the world and try and make people smile. That makes sense. I think Alan, he's the office manager of the place. I think that's what he manages the office. And I think Gleb is Mr. Boss's personal assistant. I think that's what makes the most amount of sense. So here's my proof for this. Here is my proof for this. Whenever Mr. Boss needs something done, he'll have Gleb do it, but Alan is the one who's always in charge of like organizing everything, making sure there's a lot of stuff there. He's also the one who gets the office supplies. Like, his whole personal episode is about getting paper clips. So I think Alan is the office manager. He's also the one who, what would you say Charlie is in charge of, like, and whereas Gleb is the one who had to dress up as Jared Fogle. Holy shit. Wow, that was, wow. So that's my personal headcanon. Of course, you could reasonably go, it's a show, and it doesn't really matter, it's just characters will do whatever. But no, shows must have airtight logic at all sense. Now, sure, a lot of comedies are theoretically elastic in their world building and storytelling, but that is not how it works now. All things must make sense. All things must have concrete and consistent explanations. There has been, I don't know, I'm not the hugest fan, if you can tell, of some of that attitude, but I mean, there has been good comedy, I think, mined after being a little bit more strict with continuity. Like, you can mind good comedy. But sometimes, I don't know, shows I watch, like, something like, I don't know, American Dad, which is a great show. If people tell you it's bad because Seth MacFarlane has created it, they're wrong. It's Seth MacFarlane. Well, one, he doesn't really write on it. It's a great show. I am struggling with Charlie, geez. But like, continuity on that show is not really maintained, and they'll change continuity for the sake of a joke all the time, which I think is good. It's good, but sometimes like, fans, it's like, well, that doesn't make sense because they said, no, it doesn't matter. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. It's fine. I drew Pym. I am struggling with Charlie. The fan is broken in here, and it's a little hot. It's a little hot. What time is it? It's 3:58. Been getting my reference pictures lately. That's not interesting. I was going to tell a very boring story. I'm like, why would anybody care? That's not an interesting story. Shut up. Nobody gives a shit about that. When you do like, entertainment-y things, you tend... Something that's very fascinating. I've noticed I'll talk occasionally about setups and trying to figure out new things for setups on streams every once in a while. And halfway through, it's very interesting to me because I'll spend like a couple hours trying to figure stuff out. But for them, nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that you figured out a way to light your camera up that looks a little bit better now, or figured out like some mic thing. Nobody cares. And why would they? It's the equivalent of like telling people about your dreams. Nobody cares. It's like very interesting for you, but you guys want to hear about a stupid dream? I've talked to people about this before, that this is somewhat of a recurring dream of mine. It doesn't happen all that often, but it happens every once in a while. Where people in my dream will be aware that I'm dreaming, and we'll try and figure out ways to survive after I wake up, and it is, I always just think that's so bizarre. Scary, also, a tiny bit. Pym is very easy to draw because he's just a series of circles. Charlie, he's a little bit more difficult, at least for me. Draw gleb. gleb is just a single shape. I'm actually pretty happy with my Pym drawing, so I think it turned out okay. Oh my gosh. The office assistant gleb. Oh, right. The whole reason I brought the Weird Al thing up, I guess the animator who did those fan animations is an animator for Smiling Friends. I wonder if I brought that up already. Listen, I'm trying to fill time here. I'm actually really struggling to draw Charlie. Charlie is turning out to be very difficult for me to draw. He's very, very difficult. Stay up. Gleb is a lot easier. He's just like kind of one shape. He's pretty easy to draw. I'm sure all the big tough mean artists who deal with this stuff all the time will be like, "What are you talking about? Charlie's hard to draw," because he has a very specific thing. At least for me, he has very specific things. See, look, I did gleb pretty much in one go. Dodo Crystal, great show. That's a fun show. The Crocodile Town song has been stuck in my head for a while. Aha! So look at my abilities. Listen, I cannot end this video-esque thing without getting a drawing of Charlie out there, which is going to be difficult. I'm going to struggle with. I'm going to be honest with all of you. Okay. That's an okay line. We got an okay line. We will now try and do a second okay line. Because it's a pretty good cartoony character design, I think, personally. And at least according to some of the fan art I've seen, some people have found it a pretty attractive character design. So I think... Oh, a comment! No, there's no comments. I have no internet. Internet doesn't exist anymore for me. I no longer can get on. I can get on, sort of. Well, I can get on through my phone. I can't get on through... I should just focus on the head. Just focus on the head right now, because the head is the most important thing. So... No, I shouldn't do it like that. Well, I did it like that. Crocodile Town! Sometimes when I won't talk about it. I wish I could have another person here to chat to. That would be fun. Maybe make this like a podcast situation, but that's just not happening right now. He almost looks like a dolphin, doesn't he? That's what it is. He almost looks like a dolphin, right? It's kind of dolphin-like, right? That's what it is, right? Because ever since I saw it, he reminds me of something, but he looks like a dolphin. That's what it is. So one, the butt, and then the legs are sort of a separate drawing. I struggle with legs. That's always been a thing I struggled with. Oh, right, eyes have to be on here. Still not the best, but now I'm gonna get obsessed. I'm drawing him until I can get it better. But I am getting a little tired, and I'd like to maybe get this thing done. This video done. It's currently 4 o'clock in the morning. I can't leave until I draw him. I can't leave until I get the drawing right. So we are stuck here, and you and me and him until I feel I have nailed the drawing. I'm gonna do some gestures here. This is a drawing of Pym and Gleb, and nobody else. Nobody else. It's just a drawing of Pym and Gleb, and no one else. Let's these suckers. Oh, come on. There we go. I don't know why I'm inking them. I could stop. Oh. But, screw it, I guess. I don't know. Because I want to. In the ground. It's a lot of talking, these. I think I've been successfully talking. It's funny, when I listen back to these, in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm being very articulate, I'm speaking a lot, and when I listen back to these, I'm like, I just pause nonstop. I'm like a wrestling podcast. Just random digression here. Man, could a lot of wrestling podcasts use an editor? Listen, not to be a snob, but your podcast should not have 5 minutes of the host mumbling, trying to remember a story. Cut that crap out, man. I'm thinking of one in particular. I do like the wrestling. I do like it, but oh boy. Anyways, I won't get into that. That's not relevant to this stream. I keep calling it a stream, even though this is very explicitly a video I'm doing, and not a stream. Although I'm using all my setup for streaming. I don't know how this will be received. Probably not. I'd love to do this with friends, but again, all my friends are on the internet, and I don't got no internet. I actually think this drawing of him I did was good. So, I'm starting a new quest. And the quest is, I'm going to draw a good drawing of Charlie. I failed tonight. I acknowledge I failed tonight. In some way, my channel is all about you seeing me fail in public over and over again. But we are going to keep trying. And hopefully we will, at some point, not fail. I'm getting quiet. See, this is the exact thing I was complaining about. I'm tired, guys. It's 4 in the morning. I kind of didn't think I'd be going on this long, but I'm now dedicated to, like, finishing this little bit up that I did. I don't know. Oh, boy. Wish I could put music. I wish I could do a lot of things. I wish I could be a baller. I wish I could be a little bit taller. I wish for a hat and a rat. It's a rabbit and a hat and that's as far as I remember that song. I wish I wasn't living in a place that got hit by storms quite frequently, so much so that it will knock out random shit, and I can't do basic things in my life. Like, oh my god, the power was out here for two weeks, pretty much. Fortunately, I missed quite a lot of it, so I guess I can't complain as much, but I was here for several days while power was out, and it is flippin' miserable. It is flippin' miserable. It was flippin' miserable. And it's like, nothing will be done. They will do nothing, and it will be infuriating that they will do nothing. And it's like, not to get too political, I guess. Oh. You have to keep your thing at 76 degrees, says the CEO of Centerpoint Energy in front of a thermostat. This is a thing. So, the power company here that runs it is Centerpoint Energy. The Texas company. Anyway. We should keep your power at 76 so it doesn't overblow. You're the ones who haven't upgraded shit in years. Just infuriating. It's like, it's not even... I'm just mad. I'm mad and it's robbed me of my words, my beautiful words that I'm sure people 100% have listened to all of this. This video would have killed if I could have put lo-fi beats to study to relax under. Or synthwave beats to game 2 and or code, I think is the other one. Yeah. This is always a thing that drives me crazy wild with inking. You only get like a few seconds before it dries out. And yep, there it is. You have to beg. There's this guy on TikTok, amazing artist, who does inks, just pure inks. And it's like, I'm so in awe of his ability. It's like so cool. One video I made about him, where I was like, just basically saying, dude, your stuff is so awesome. And I've tried to do what he does, which is he just throws ink on a page and he can then paint these really kind of amazing. Although it's a little bit more detailed than that. He does basic outlines with water and stuff, but his stuff is like so amazing. I love it so much. Oh, no. No, I fucked it. I'm sure experienced people, talented people, will see this and go like, oh, you made all these mistakes, and that's true. It's definitively true. I made how many mistakes I've made in my life, but oh my god. Pim turned out surprisingly not bad, I think. Charlie, this video was never about drawing Charlie. It was only about drawing Pim and Gleb. That's the only people I was trying to draw. Certainly wasn't also planning to draw Alan, but I suspect Alan would create similar problems for me. Nope, just Pim and Gleb. That's who the smiling friends are. They're just Pim and Gleb. And certainly not the even more complicated Mr. Boss. Nope. Nope. Shh. That's the only, I only watch Smiling Friends edited with just these two characters and nobody else. Am I getting away with this? Is this even a funny bit? Probably not. Has any bit I've done on this thing funny? And probably not. I should do more inking. I do enjoy it. I guess the thing is, like, with inking is, like, you put all this effort into the pencils and it's like, oh, well, it's time to ink now. And if you screw anything up, all that work has been wasted. And that is very depressing when that happens. And it happens to me quite frequently. I used to advertise myself as an internationally famous cartoonist, because technically it's true. From a certain point of view, it's a true statement. I have done some cartoony stuff before, And my very comparatively limited fan base is international. So, true. I'm being truthful. Is daylight coming? No. So what happened is I spilled a little bit of ink, but actually it's been easier to do it from here. And I'm sure this is a thing people actually do and don't get their desk all dirty because of it, but whatever. Should I edit this? I probably should edit this. And I'm going to have to edit this so it doesn't... Well, I'm not going to do that big of an... I'll cut it down in CapCut. And it's not like the internet is on right now, so I'll do it tomorrow. I have to be comfortable with being okay with doing stuff taking a day or two longer. That's a whole other thing. Is like I'm so like I just want that dopamine rush now of the thing being popular that I'm working on a novella right now, and I'm just like, oh, I have to fight myself from just releasing it as is and actually take the time to edit and do all the important things. So I'm going to call it here. We have successfully edited, drawn the only two people that we were going to draw this stream, and that was the only thing. And we'll ignore all those attempts I did to try and draw Charlie. That didn't happen. That did not happen. Attempts that I did to try and draw Charlie did not happen, and that is just the story we're going to go with. I don't know. I actually think it turned out not that bad. Am I allowed to say that about stuff I did? I think there's some merit to these drawings, and I am not horrified at them. Well, hopefully talk to you guys later, and maybe live at some point if I ever get my internet back. Have a good life.